Fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim. She stands 5 feet 4 1/2 inches tall. She weighed in at 129.4 pounds. Tonight, she enters the ring with a professional record of 19 victories versus 3 defeats with 3 draws, with 10 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Seoul, South Korea, introducing the former World Championship contender, 신사 숙디야 여러분 소개합니다. Bobby Ray Shin. And now her opponent, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with red and gold trim. She stands 5 feet 5 inches tall. She weighed in at 129.8 pounds. Tonight, she enters the ring with a near perfect record of 17 victories versus just 1 defeat with 1 no contest, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Dallas, Texas, by
Referee Sparkle Lee giving final instructions at center ring. Both fighters came in right at weight. Baumgardner at 129.8, Shin at 129.4. Neither one gave an ounce away on that scale. They touch gloves, and ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Round 1.
Tonight, the ring, WBA, IBF, and WBO world titles on the...
Round 1. And Baumgardner opens immediately. Jab, double jab. She's not waiting. She is telling Shin who this ring belongs to right from second 1. 1-2 lands clean. 1-2 right through the guard, clean as a whistle. Shin tries to march forward and Baumgardner just glides away. That footwork. Watch those feet. She's not running, she's positioning. There's a difference. Big combination in the final minute. Oh, a right hand breaks the guard open, and Baumgardner throws a big combination in the final 60 seconds of this round. The garden is alive already. Shin walking through it. She absorbs, she keeps pressing. But Baumgardner is controlling every single second of this first round.
You know, that's something that I'm very familiar with. I did the 3-minute rounds for nearly a decade in the amateurs, and then my first couple of fights as a professional were 3-minute rounds, and I do prefer it. It does give us more time to, you know, to show our craft, to show our boxing IQ, and so far, at least she's been doing great. She's patient, she's relaxed, her punches are sharp.
Alycia Baumgardner, strong jab there, and she told us as she looks to land the right hand, which has been a very great weapon for her in her pro career, that she wants to try to push the pace and push forward. She doesn't want to let Shin dictate the pace and be the aggressor.
Yeah, and you're seeing that here in the early going. This is good ring geography, so to speak, for Alycia Baumgardner. She's essentially created a force field with her power shots, daring Shin to try and walk through them. Now, Shin has shown us throughout her career she's very willing to do that, but Baumgardner is a different kind of puncher.
Baumgardner representing, oh my goodness, good combination there from AB. Her South Korean, her Korean roots in her ring attire and the things in her hair and in her shoes, very important for her to represent tonight on this global stage, this international stage, her Korean heritage as her grandmother was Korean.
Yeah, Korea as a whole certainly tuning in here tonight. Bobby Ray Shin, also a crossover star of sorts. She's one of the stars of the first season of Physical 100.
surprised at the pace. I thought I'd see a little bit more action from Baumgardner VS Shin. Alycia is really managing the distance well. I'm honestly impressed by her distance management, but this is something, you know, we knew she was good at.
Perhaps pacing herself for the 3-minute rounds, which Baumgardner VS Shin is fighting for the first time.
Yes, exactly.
In the 3-minute rounds.
See how this fight moves forward.
One-sided opening frame. She told us she was bringing the meaner side tonight. So far, she wasn't lying. Round 2. Body and head. Bell. Round 2. Shin adjusting, trying to cut off the ring. She wants to take away that space Baumgardner used so beautifully in round 1. A B goes to the body, and Baumgardner answers with a body shot. She's reading Shin's pressure and going downstairs. Beautiful. Make her think about 2 things at once. Now back upstairs. A left hook. Oh, that landed clean on the chin. Shin felt that one. Shin keeps coming. And Shin just keeps walking. That is a tough woman right there. She is eating a left hook on the chin, and her response is to throw a right hand back. I respect that tremendously. Baumgardner fires back-to-back combos. Uppercut, straight, body. Back-to-back, uppercut, straight to body shots. Baumgardner going back-to-back now. The combinations are flowing. She looks relaxed. She looks sharp. This is a champion at the height of her powers. Bell. Round 2. Baumgardner, 10-9. 20 points to nothing on my card. Shin needs to find something. Round 3. Setting the trap. Bell. Round 3. And watch this early. Baumgardner is beginning to time Shin's forward march. She's not just moving away anymore. She's waiting for her. She's inviting her in. Shin lunges. Baumgardner steps off and counters. There it is. Shin lunges in, and Baumgardner slips to the outside. Right-hand counter. Perfect. She's turning Shin's biggest weapon, that pressure, into her own scoring opportunity. A terrific combination breaks the guard. Terrific combination breaks the guard wide open. She flurries downstairs, switches back upstairs. 2 lefts connect to end the exchange. The MSG crowd rising for that one. Shin lands a partial right hand. Shin gets a partial right hand through. A small moment for the challenger. She needs more of that. Much more. But right now, Baumgardner is controlling this fight like a chess master. Bell. Round 3. Baumgardner, 10-9. 30 points to nothing. This is a masterclass in distance management, folks.
Bo go backwards. And even though Bo has been coming forward some of this time, Alycia Baumgardner doing a great job fighting off the back hook. She is a really good counter puncher as well.
Yeah, you're seeing Baumgardner do a little bit of both. In the early stages of this round, she was the one moving forward. Now she's showing she can counter shit. What a left hook there from Baumgardner.
Nice left hand there.
Punches properly, and I think the thing is, though, is Shin's very linear with her movement.
And comes straight out here, Tam, to start round 3, almost like a rocket shot across the ring as she is continuing to focus also on punch placement, something she talks about often in promoting this fight.
But you see, Shin is coming forward, and she's just taking more risks. To me, it seemed that may pay it off a little bit more, because at least she's getting a few punches in this way.
Yeah, this is one of the issues for Shin in this fight, is that obviously there is nuance to what she is doing in pressuring, but by and large, she wins fights through attrition. And she's facing someone in Alycia Baumgardner who, one of the things that makes her special is her diversity of schooling, where she started in Fremont, at the Fremont Wreckers Gym in Ohio. She said she learned the Mexican style. Then, of course, she spends a lot of her life in Detroit. You learn what they teach in Detroit, that hitman style. And now, training with Derek James, there are just so many looks that Baumgardner can give you. But hey, maybe that'll work. How about a double leg takedown?
Maybe. Definitely throw somebody off their game. No, that version. It's like she's doing now.
And you see Derek James there in the 2 box on the lower left side of your screen. Probably not practicing many of those takedowns in training camp leading up to this fight, but they knew that Bomi Ray was going to be a physical opponent. And in fact, she's an opponent, as you're starting to see, that can continue to gain momentum and get stronger as the fight goes on.
Yeah, and to Tam's point, I think maybe this more unhinged version of pressure might be a better option for Shin.
Oh, it'll have to be, because I mean, if you give Alycia her time, you know, she's good at what she does, right? And you got to take her out of her comfort zone. And she talks a lot about comfort and how she makes herself uncomfortable. And I mean, she's keeping her composure right now. So I mean, maybe she's prepared for this. Maybe she hasn't. It's quite awkward in this round, especially. But if Alycia can keep her composure and keep that jab like she was in the first 2 rounds.
Oh, big overhand right. Connects for Alycia Baumgardner, and Baumgardner VS Shin wears it on the chin.
And that was a downward arcing right hand as well. Beautiful shot there from Baumgardner. Even as Shin is inching closer and closer, Baumgardner finding ways to land heavy shots.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she can punch. She's an explosive athlete, and she's shown that time and time again.
Nice angle.
Nice, yeah, Alicia's got good angles. That's something else that she does very well, and I think people don't talk about.
And a nice uppercut to boot at the 10-second mark here in round 3.
But there were plenty of right hands that did.
And a quick time called by Sparkle Lee as the whole bag of ice completely spilled in the Shin corner. And there is a lot of water on that logo in the red corner and some ice as they do a bit of housekeeping. And
yeah, the Rangers play next door, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Keep the ice out of the theater, and they pick right back up here for round 4. And even in Shin's corner, they're playing, it's okay. You can take punches, continue to come forward, but you gotta, the big punch she just took right there. Buckled the legs of Shin. Shin in some trouble now as she tries to hold. And actually gets her head slammed against the pad there on the turnbuckle.
That won't be a knockdown, but Shin is not in good condition right now.
There's a lot of time left, 2.5 minutes, and Alicia's got her buckled.
Well, I mean, and on cue, her corner did tell her she can take some punches. I don't think they wanted her to take a shot like that.
No, that was a really nice punch from Alycia.
Yeah, how much do you want to test that hypothesis?
Right? Well, she seems to have recovered somewhat well here. Still 2 whole minutes to work here in round 4.
I mean, credit to the recuperative abilities of Bomi Ray Shin. Her legs were all over the place like 20 seconds ago. Yeah. And suddenly she looks as stable as she has been in the beginning stages of the fight.
Alicia's being really smart about it, though. She's not rushing. She's taking her time. She knows she has the time. She knows she has the power.
Looking to set up that big right hand. The one that stopped Terry Harper in her tracks and put Alycia Baumgardner on the map, really from that point on. And she is pouring it on here as Shin looks to land a right hand, and there's another one, and right back with a straight counter right hand for Baumgardner.
Baumgardner has called that shot that she landed on Terry Harper the best punch she's ever thrown in her life. She might be adding some shots to that list here tonight. She is landing some titanic stuff.
And Shin, a counter puncher in her own right, but just not having much success being able to time those counters. And part of it is because Alycia Baumgardner and her defensive prowess is something that they really worked on with Derek James in this training camp, knowing the type of fighter and the respect they had for Shin.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's really, I don't know, Alicia's landing some big shots tonight, honestly, some big shots on Shin. But she could take them so far.
She's loading up uppercuts here on the inside as well.
Those uppercuts are dangerous from Alycia.
Down to the body with the right hand, digs Baumgardner. Shin trying to throw on the inside as well.
10 seconds, ladies, come on.
Forehead to forehead at the 10-second marker.
Step back, step back. Let's go.
And another beautiful round from the champion. As the Shin corner get some translation there, telling their fighter not to rush. I mean, let's keep in mind, these are 3-minute rounds. This is the first time Shin has ever fought a fight with 3-minute rounds. And although she is, as we talked about earlier, the type of fighter that comes on strong, middle and late, this is still uncharted territory as far as if we get into these later rounds, how that engine can kind of keep chugging along. So a good reminder for her corner to maybe slow things down a little bit.
Absolutely, and it's a completely different pace. You know, 2 minutes and 3 minutes are a different pace, and I think she felt that. You know, I think that it's different. It's especially in a fight. Training and fighting are two different things.
Wicked uppercut for Baumgardner again. Look at the body shots as well.
And Baumgardner Shin just wants to stand there and take these shots. No step back. She continues to come forward despite Alycia Baumgardner landing some hard shots. No quit in her. My goodness, she's taken some solid ones here, Corey.
Yeah, she's walking face forward at one of the most dangerous punchers in women's boxing, and she's taking these shots as well. What did we talk about off the top of the broadcast, Christina? That these two styles, when you put them together, they make for a perfect television fight. Look at how these are blending. And they're both playing their part in this. Yes, Alycia Baumgardner is having a fabulous fight, but it's Shin's courage and willingness that is adding to the entertainment of this fight.
And usually you would say, credit to the matchmaker taking this out, but Alycia Baumgardner kind of played matchmaker and called her own fate and calling out Baumgardner Shin, saying that's the type of opponent that I want to fight to take this to the next level, to kick this thing off on ESPN in the main event. And maybe a little play in the fact that she did fight Caroline Dubois.
I was about to say, maybe there's going to be a little bit of a litmus test. How did I do compared to how did you do? But there's still a long way to go. That's a long time to deal with Baumgardner Shin still.
Yeah, it really is. Because even if she's getting hit clean, she's still there. Like she's still dangerous, right? Her style's a little awkward and
backside it, guys. Let it go, let it go. Let it go, Alycia.
As really no space needed for Shin, as she is content throwing from close quarters, even though Alycia Baumgardner is holding there, trying to smother the work of Shin. Sometimes she does herself no favors when she fights in those close quarters because she smothers her own work.
I understand. And working on the inside is not easy. It's not a comfortable position to be in.
And Clip, you're having a good night. You're winning every round, and that's why she works so hard and talks about, being economical and having punch placement and not wasting shots. All things that she focused on in this training camp, working to the body.
Let it go, come on. Thank you.
Baumgardner Shin told the Korean media, I want a slugfest. I hope Alycia doesn't run away and confronts me head on. And her trainer, Yoon Kang-jun, who's been her trainer since the very beginning, he added, Baumgardner, she has never backed down from a slugfest.
Well, Alycia is not running away. I'd say she's gone she's pretty head on. As head on as you can get, if I'm being honest.
Strong jab, two of them there from Baumgardner. She's taking her time here in round 6 after being halfway through the scheduled 10-round fight. 100 pounds, junior lightweight division.
Baumgardner starting to step in with uppercuts from time to time, and that is just like that.
Beautiful combination there. She catches one in return from Shin, and Shin's going to do enough to keep you honest, no doubt about it.
No, if Baumgardner Shin were going to be discouraged, it would have frankly happened earlier in her pro career when she was making $500 a fight, when she was working at a bakery in the morning and handing out restaurant flyers at night. If she was going to quit, she would have done it a long time ago.
Absolutely, and we can't count her out. She's there. She's in front of Alycia. She's fighting. She's not going anywhere until she hits, unless she hits the canvas, and it's not looking like she is. She is tough.
Baumgardner digging to the body. A point of emphasis and trying to slow down the work rate of Shin in this training camp. And a nice uppercut lands on the inside.
Listen, this was right around the time in the fight against Caroline Dubois when things started to get a little sticky for the champ. And I'm not saying that Shin is necessarily winning this round, but this is a more difficult round for Baumgardner here in the sixth.
This is what she wanted. She wanted a slugfest. This is as slugfesty as it gets. There's a festival. Come on, it's happening. This is what she wanted.
It's all the things.
Oh yeah, that's what she wanted.
That's right, Tam. What she wanted was to land more shots like that. A nice right hand to the body for Shin, but right back comes Baumgardner, who looks a little bit uncomfortable for the first time, and maybe it's because of big shots like that from the fighter from South Korea, who was pouring it on now at the end of round 6.
One-sided fights are okay, right? But I want to see two competitive women go at it. And this is what we're seeing right here in the second half of their fight.
Yeah, we're getting right back to that inside fighting festival that you described, Tam. It's the Oceaga of inside fighting. Look at this.
Look, yes.
A festival of uppercuts, 4 of them to start round 7.
There's one person that looks more uncomfortable than the other, and it's not the person that got knocked down.
Still a smile on the face of Alycia Baumgardner.
We can't forget, you know, Alycia is a seasoned boxer, right? She's a seasoned professional. She's been in there. She's done these world championship defenses. It's 53 months holding one belt. Like, it's a really long time, right? So, you know, we can't count her out either. She's a professional. She's a vet.
No, and oftentimes we hear fighters say, I want to fight like this. I want a war. So even though things might be getting more uncomfortable for Alycia Baumgardner, you see the smile on her face as if to say, yeah, look at the entertainment I'm providing. I'm in this.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I'm very curious on how Alycia is going to adapt from this, because I feel like there's a switch. Shin just went, right, we're going to fight it out. It's cat fight, slug fight, you name it. We're going to fight. We're going to war. And she decided this, and that's what she's doing.
Remember, we talked earlier on about Baumgardner referring to being able to pace herself better in 3-minute rounds. It's one thing to control the pace in a 3-minute round. It's another thing when you aren't. And these feel, I'm sure, a lot different, Tam, when you are not the one dictating the pace.
Oh, yeah, and I've been in that position before. I've been in a position going back to my corner and been like, okay, what do I do? Because clearly I'm running out of breath here, guys. But, again, the good boxers will adapt. And the good boxer will know how to pick up, how to speed up the pace, how to slow it down.
And she just picked her off with an uppercut from the right hand, almost baiting her into that. We talked about Alycia Baumgardner fighting the 12 3-minute rounds in her last fight versus Layla Boudoin, but it was not out of pace like this in those rounds. Maybe taking a bit of a round off here for Alycia Baumgardner, picking her shots, being a little more economical than we've seen her in other rounds.
But maybe winning this round as well.
Sure.
I mean, she's engaging less, but she's the one that's landing here, and maybe this pot-shotting approach can take some of that momentum that Shin is building away. That's a nice left hook from Shin.
Nice.
She is tough. She also landed a left hand right there on Alycia Baumgardner at the 10-second mark. Some kind of tough as Shin.
I will not be comfortable, but I will do it, and I will do it gracefully. At least I will try.
Round 8 of this scheduled 10-round World Championship fight. Nice uppercut with the right hand and then down to the body for Baumgardner.
So Baumgardner came out talking to Shin there. See the attitude of Alycia Baumgardner coming out a little bit more. You see him shoving Shin against the ropes, trying to assert dominance once again here in the 8th.
Trying to hold, turn, walk the challenger back. Shin trying to land one of those uppercuts herself.
This is pretty footwork here from Baumgardner.
Yeah, it is. She's controlling where Shin is. And what I'd like to see from Shin is maybe throw a little bit more at her chest, right? Because her head can move, but the chest is attached to your legs, so it ain't really going nowhere.
Pace slowing down just a bit here to start round 8 in the first minute.
Well, it's not for a lack of effort from Baumgardner VS Shin. The pace is slowing because of Alycia Baumgardner. Again, her ability to wrestle control of this fight, to change the tempo when it seemed like it might have been rolling downhill in a bad direction.
Yeah, she adapted, she turned it around, and she decided to do something different. Which is what a vet will do. It's what a seasoned boxer will do.
Shin ripped a shot to the body from the left hand, but because Baumgardner has been on the move, Shin hasn't been able to establish much offense here in this round.
Yeah, but I mean, she could cut the ring off a little bit more. I feel like, you know, Alycia is moving her where she wants, but she could be smarter and cut the ring off and try to limit that movement.
Excellent point from our resident analyst here tonight, Tam Thibault. She wanted to be fighting tonight. She was going to be fighting tonight, but her opponent had visa issues, so instead she's sitting in on commentary, and we very much appreciate her expertise here on ESPN as we're under 45 seconds left here in round 8.
Get out there, let her go, let her go.
Shin is still bringing pressure, but if you're scoring this round, I mean, the shots that Baumgardner is landing, they're so clear, they're so obvious. They're jolting the head of Shin back. And Baumgardner is looking very comfortable fighting at this pace.
Yeah, speaking of her, she did a good job getting her head off the line from some of those return shots from Shin.
Again, I really just want to see a little bit more efficient footwork from Shin. I think it would make the fight a lot more exciting. I think now it's starting to become a little bit more one-sided.
Yeah, when Baumgardner didn't want to stand and throw with her in close quarters. Get away and exit on either side.
Exactly, you know, and it's also about where she's aiming. Alycia, she's gonna move in her head. You can't hit the head. Where do you go? You go to something that's attached to the bottom, and that is her chest.
And that's why they said that's what you need to do to try to slow her down. Throw some shots to the body, and then make the hands come down. Then you can attack up top.
Exactly, and to just keep coming forward.
It's hard to imagine another level of pressure that Shin could reach here, but you'd have to think that she's going to need it.
Yeah, but also, I mean, like, throwing some feints. To be fair, I didn't see either boxer's feint. I did not see a single feint. Alicia's doing what she's doing, and it's working. But I think it would be more impressive if she could, you know, really make Shin miss and then make her pay.
Shin trying to go down to the body just like her corner implored her to. There, a double jab trying to get Alycia Baumgardner to open up and cut off the ring as Alycia moves towards Shin's right hand.
Yeah, which Shin's corner has been imploring her to let go of a little bit more. Shin said she was going to make this the worst day of Baumgardner's life and make her taste hell. And indeed, she has given her some genuinely difficult rounds, especially in round 6 and 7. But this is looking like a cozier pace here for Baumgardner.
I agree. And what I would like to see maybe a little bit more is a change of pace. I think now it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. And I mean, these ladies have the abilities to do it, right? Whether it's change between speed, change between power, some feints. That would make this fight even more entertaining than it already is.
Short shots on the inside for both fighters as action now comes back to the center of the ring. That's where Shin wants Alycia Baumgardner right there so she can try to land those shots, but Baumgardner punching at the same time as Shin has kind of helped her defense, or her offense, excuse me, become her defense.
Yeah, and I think punching with Shin, if there is a path to genuinely hurting Shin, which has proven nearly impossible for everyone, I think punching with her might be that path, like that. That one at least caught Shin off balance.
And even in the losses for Shin, they've all been by decision. One early in her career to a fighter making her pro debut, but the other two to Delphine Persoon and Caroline Dubois, two very, very skilled world champion level fighters, world champions.
She might have won that Persoon fight,
and that one too. I mean, that one's... As the fighters touch gloves for the last round, you saw that graphic pop up for the power punches. Alycia Baumgardner, although she's thrown less power shots, she's landing at a 47% accuracy rate on the amount of power shots. She's thrown at 301, connected on 141. Shin has thrown 396, connected on 111.
Yeah, it's astonishing looking at Shin in the corner and the way that she's coming out now. She's been hit with 50% of Baumgardner's power punches. She's been fighting at an extraordinary pace. She says that physical fitness is her religion. She must have been praying at that altar for about 12 straight weeks to be looking like this right now, considering what she's absorbed.
Yeah, these are some hard punches she's taking, and I can't lie. She's one tough cookie. I wouldn't want to take her on the chin like that.
Well, and if there was any question if she was able to go these 3-minute rounds for the distance, she's answered those questions as she still continues to come forward and stalk the champion, throwing an overhand right there that just missed as Baumgardner shoots her right and steps out to her right.
And one of the focuses in the Baumgardner camp, throughout camp with Derek James, was efficiency, eliminating wasted movement. And you see the efficiency in the shots of Baumgardner, being able to see and swim through the chaos that Shin has presented.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see, honestly, because it could have been a much harder fight for Alycia if she had gotten dragged into an all-out war like Shin had wanted.
Really good stuff right here from the champ. She looks to pick off the challenger at range. Oh, and she threw a lot into that right hand, Corey.
Listen, there are a lot of fighters in this weight division that wouldn't have taken these shots here tonight.
Under a minute left in the fight. The WBA, IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine belts on the line. The champion, Alycia Baumgardner, has put together a very solid performance from pillar to post, but not without a valiant effort from the challenger, Baumgardner VS Shin, here in New York City, Madison Square Garden, Infosys Theater, MVPW2 has delivered.
This has been all action from bell to bell.
Watch her head, let her head go. Let her head go, don't push her head down.
And one last uppercut tries to get in there while they have the champ hunched over in that crouching position, and they will throw back and forth. Of course they will, to the bell. What a fight.